There's been a number of movies made here over the years. The first movie that was made here at Steamboat Landing was called Mandalay, and it was with Kay Francis. And I'll lay this over here on the table. And this is the original article in the Sacramento Bee about the movie Mandalay. And you can see the steamboat there. I don't remember which steamboat it is that was renamed to be more appropriate for the movie. But it was Kay Francis, and it was somebody by the name of Cortez was the leading man. You'll see the beach. This photo was evidently taken from on top of the bridge or on the bridge. But you can see they put palm trees down there on the beach. And there's an old photograph over there with the members of the Peck family, and they're sitting in these little thatched hut rowboat things. And they just went down there to take a photo op, and that photo's still laying over there on one of the tables over there. So there's that one. The other one that was done here, and this is also a movie poster from Mandalay, by the way, with Kay Francis. Got a couple of those. Yep, a couple of those. Pass that over, and then we can pass them around the table. Another movie that was made here was called Macon County Line. And if you remember the fella who was on the Beverly Hillbillies? Max Pear, thank you. He's the one that starred in this thing and directed this Macon County Line movie. It's kind of weird, but it does have a lot of old stuff on here from around. Especially there's some shots down in Thornton and down in Walnut Grove. Before the service station was built down there in Thornton, there was another structure down there, a cafe or something, whatever it was, but it shows that era. And if you weren't around during that time, you wouldn't recognize it today. But Macon County Line was shot here.
We also had the gas station across the street.
Yeah, that's right. And this is a movie poster from that. I won't unroll the whole thing, but it says, it was the fall of ¡54, a time when laughing was easy, and laugh they did until they crossed the Macon County line. That was kind of interesting. Another movie that was done here was called The Bird, and I had got the poster. I couldn't find it yesterday, but it was called The Bird, The Life and Times of Charlie Parker. And Charlie Parker was a jazz musician back east, on the East Coast, back in, I'm going to say the 40s, probably 40s, 50s. And so things weren't going too well. The storyline is things weren't going too well on the East Coast, so they decided to take a road trip with a band down to Mississippi. Well, they came out here and filmed those scenes down in the Mississippi. So they did a lot when the old Steamboat Landing was here, and it was painted barnyard red, you may recall. They did scenes coming in and out of the store, like they're buying groceries and whatnot. So that was here. They did a lot of shooting on the levee roads right here behind us. They also did some shooting down at Locke as well. They stayed the night in Locke, that kind of stuff. This is a really good movie. I really enjoyed this movie, and it's got a lot of photos about here again and elsewhere here in the Delta. And the last movie that was here, which I couldn't find my copy of it. Yeah, I got it. Was called The General's Daughter with John Travolta. And that's also kind of a weird movie, but oh well. But they did a lot of shooting here, but unfortunately none of it showed up on the movie version. But it did show up on the DVD. If you get the DVD version, the last scene is John Travolta is leaving the scene, whatever it is. He's leaving, and he's coming down Sutter Island Road, and he makes a right onto the Steamboat Slough Bridge to go south. And that's the end of the movie. On the DVD, he just fades off going across the bridge. But he goes by our little orange AC tractor, Al Chalmers tractor that we had out here for prop and that kind of stuff. So, but they were out here for quite a while, and you know, these movie people, they really put on the Ritz. I mean, they got the best food out there, caterers, all this kind of stuff. It's pretty amazing. Mom was thrilled. My mom, Lucille Peck, she was thrilled because John Travolta would land his helicopter out there, and she would get a photo op with him, and still have the $5,000 check she got, a copy of it that she got for letting him use the premises here. Another movie, or not a movie, but it evidently was a pilot for a TV series, was called Brothers-in-Law. And if you Google Brothers-in-Law, it keeps coming up with some British movie of some sort. But we do have some videos of a scene they were shooting, and the whole premise for that part of the movie was that he was being chased in a truck. He was in a truck being chased by a car, or maybe another truck, I don't remember. Anyway, the bridge opens, and the typical scene is he going to make it? Is he going to make it? Is he going to make it across the bridge? Well, in the movie, or in this TV pilot thing they were shooting, he doesn't make it. And the way they did that is they opened the bridge up. They had a crane, Amber, you probably remember this, they had a crane over there on the south side of the slough. And they took an old yacht that was just a shell, parked it down there in the middle of the river, right below the opening of the bridge. And then they took this truck chassis that had no engine, no nothing, just the bare chassis and the wheels and whatnot. And they took this crane and they swung that chassis over the open bridge, and then punched that thing off, and it went down and hit the yacht and exploded. And so that was his demise. He didn't make it going across the bridge. But interestingly enough, this crane operator, now this is a very long boom, a very big crane to get that thing swung out over the top of the bridge out in the middle, right? As he's picking up this chassis and he's starting to swing this thing over to the center of the slough to drop it through the bridge, the crane starts to go. And he was astute enough that he caught it in time and swung that thing back, and did not have the disaster of laying that crane over the top of the bridge, because that's exactly what would happen, because it was such a long boom, right? So he repositioned his crane, got a better footing, and went about his business. But that was kind of a scary moment there for him for a few seconds while you see this boom starting to go, you know. It was pretty interesting. So that's kind of the movie history of what's going on, at least here, and that we know of, or at least I know of. But pretty interesting and kind of neat things that have gone on. So I just want to mention that to you, and we'll get back.
For you.
Yeah.
I can swear I remember being down on the beach and seeing somebody fly under the bridge.
Yeah.
I have no idea who that might be.
Okay.
Wasn't you, huh?
Give you a name or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I have no
We used to do
idea.
it
Okay.
always.
None whatsoever.
What are the lyrics then?
I'm positive Bud never did that.